All right. Well, let's go. Yeah, speedrun. Haha. Okay, 1337. And we're going to continue. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we're going to play the Danish Gambit again. For the time. Okay, knight f6. So we faced this once. We faced this move. Well, that is not a common move. And it's not a great move. It's not a terrible move either, but I mean, basically, well, my first arrow is wrong. It counterattacks the e4 pawn, which is reasonable, but that knight is going to start dangling around in my position. And I've explained this at a couple of points, where the thing with pieces are, you can look at this knight on e4 and you can say, well, that's a centralized knight. That's a great knight. That's not quite the full truth. A piece can be centralized and still be really vulnerable if it's not well supported by other pieces and pawns, and that's clearly the case here. So a lot of you guys might be looking at queen e2 or bishop d3, but that's a little bit reactive. Queen e2, the knight's going to drop to c5, and you're going to regret putting your queen there, because then you're not going to be able to get your bishop out. f3 is also tempting, but remember what the problem usually is with playing f3 when they've got a knight on e4, and that's the check on h4, and I'll talk about this after the game as well. Thank you, Dubrovich. Because then, after g3, there's knight takes g3. That's a common pattern I'm sure most of you guys have seen. So what's the best approach here? The best approach is to basically ignore the knight for the time being, and instead to understand what are the other weaknesses in black's position. Now, this pawn on f7 is actually very weak. It's always weak in the opening, but particularly here, we know that the knight is undefended. So we can combine pressure on this pawn with attacking the knight, and that can lead to a bunch of forks. How do we actually set that up? Well, a good way to do that is to play bishop c4. Developing the bishop, good. Pressuring f7, good. And we're preparing moves like these, which fork the knight and attack the pawn. So it's like a delayed response to the knight. I've misled you a little bit, I agree, by pretending that you should do something immediately with the knight, but you shouldn't do something immediately. Okay, queen h4 is not bad. So there's some tactics here, as I said. There's going to be more tactics involved in these things. He's threatening checkmate. And the move g3 is very tempting here. Why don't we just defend the mate and attack the queen? What's wrong with g3? Who can tell me, as a challenging question, what's the problem with just playing g3 and saying, get out of there? You have to look at the whole board here. You have to see what's going on. Well, the bishop is hanging, right. The queen is x-raying the bishop. He can actually take on g3 with a knight. And this queen, it doesn't lose the rook. It doesn't lose the rook. Because after g3 knight takes, we can take with the f-pawn. Our f-pawn is still on f2. But this queen can slide over and pick up this bishop on c4, which is undefended. That's the key problem. Black is actually threatening a discovered attack on the bishop. So what we need to do is we need to defend this pawn and, preferably, defend this bishop. And after that, maybe we can attack the queen and we can start getting the good stuff done. So if we play queen f3, that's a good move. But he can still move the knight and perhaps open fire on this bishop. So, well, let me think about this first. Actually, no, I actually like queen f3. I'm going to change my mind here. I hallucinated for a second. Yeah, let's play queen f3. I forgot that we're attacking f7 actually myself. Yeah. Queen f3 is good because we're attacking f7. And I was thinking for some reason that he could like take on f2. Maybe he will. That would be funny. But we're also attacking f7. That's a big threat. That's not a mate threat, but it's almost a mate threat, and that's good enough to deter him from any kind of discoveries, I think. Yeah, nice, George. Thanks for that. Queen e2 was the move I intended, which was also pretty good. Maybe even the best move from a purely scientific perspective, but I like queen f3. It's going to put him in a very difficult spot. He's got to be very creative to get out of this now. It's not a mate threat. Oh, Dubrovich, you tried to give subs? Oh, did I miss that? I'm really sorry. If I did, Capricup, thank you for the prime. Thank you for the prime. Well, queen f7, he can move his king to d8. This square that is blinking is accessible to the king, so that's why it's not mate. Yeah, well, queen e2, knight f2, I thought there was g3. That was the line I calculated. Well, like queen e4 there, it's complicated. Or Joe, there's maybe knight f3 after knight takes f2, attacking the queen. I think that might be good for white. It's actually, and there he goes, Dubrovich with a 5. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. You're the man. I've seen you in the bras. Appreciate the subs. That's awesome. 5 gifted. Now, d5 is weird. he seems to be defending against stuff, but he's just giving the pawn. I mean, just thank you. Right? Michigo, another 5 subs. Oh, my lands, damn curl. Look at this go. Another 5 from Michigo. Tons of support today. I really appreciate that. And sweet messages to boot. And 500 bits from M4. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Oh, my lands. Another 5 from RPM. Here we go. The 12 a.m. hype has begun. 5 more from RPM. And 5 more from N Hogs. Oh, my God. And this is crazy. Now it's crazy. Well, thank you, guys. This is amazing. Oh, my God. Curious Chimpanzee jumping in. Another 5. This is insane. Bishop e6. All right, and what else is insane is we're taking all of his pieces. Bishop e6 is... he's defending against the threat of f7, but he's forgetting that he's not seeing the bigger picture here. Now, we can take on b7, but let's play Russian school. Maybe the best move is to take on b7. I don't want to deal with this knight anymore. I'm tired of this knight being here and causing troubles. Let's just take the free knight instead. Maybe we'll only win a knight, but at least we won't have to worry about various threats, right? That's always a judgment call you have to make, is you have to be able to say, I think maybe this is going to be the best move, but let me do something that's also good, and it's going to be more practical, if that makes sense. Okay. So, bishop g4, indeed, Michiko. Now, where should we put our queen? There's many good squares. We can put it on g3 and basically force the queen trade. Fair. But the best square is to understand that we're also attacking b7 with the bishop. So where would we want to reposition our queen? So that this queen participates in the pressure on b7. Michiko with a 1000-er. Thank you. Yeah. Let's slide it over here, and now our pressure on this pawn has become unbearable. Yeah, just like the opera game. Exactly what I was thinking about. Now, he should probably go here and counterattack this. Yeah, he does. But now it is finally time for a move that we wanted to play for a while. Now that his knight is gone, and now that the pressure is not as spicy, some of you, I think, are maybe saying this move, but that is not a fork. I mean, it is a fork. It's not a particularly good one, because he can bring his knight out and defend the bishop at the same time. But instead, we can just go g3, get out of here. Finally, it's our time to play this move. Then we can start gorging on black's queen side. And when is Jiggle? Thank you for the tier 1. All right. We've got some funny names today, yes. So... yeah, let's see where he goes with his queen, but there's nothing that he can do because f6 and Tipsy Flipper, thank you for the tier 1. Yeah, well, queen e7, okay. So now we need to be a little bit careful here. We need to be a little bit careful here. What should we take this with? It doesn't actually matter what we take it with. We can take it with either piece. I like taking this pawn to the bishop because, as I've said before, there's this rule that you generally, when you have 2 pieces that you can do something with, you usually want to assign it to the piece of smaller value, which is a little bit paradoxical. You might think, well, I want to do with a queen, it's going to be more reliable. It's going to be more reliable. It's like when I was little and I would hear the adults ordering a steak, like I'd always want it well done or my brother was like, because like, why would you not have it well done? It's like the best steak. I want the best steak. I don't want a medium. Or like my dad would be like, medium well. Why are you ordering medium well? Like, I want it to be good. But the thing is, when you take with a piece of smaller value, you leave the piece of bigger value to do other important stuff. So here, the bishop is perfectly capable of dealing with this rook. The rook's not going anywhere. The queen is going to be on b3 for the time being. And we don't know how it is going to be used. And already we have a very good use for this queen. And that's not to put it on e3 and blunder it. But what should we put on e3? And how does the queen figure in this mosaic of roles that we've assigned to our pieces? Thank you for the tier 1. And thank you, Ryan KL. Yeah, no, you played like a beast. No, we don't have to play king f1, although that's fine. But just bishop e3 blocks the check and encourages trades, and that's perfectly good. Oh my god. Oh crap, I got it. Oh my god, now I only now just got it. I was thinking the other day about, like, will there ever be someone who buries some sort of vile name so so deep that, like, I won't be able to spot it at all? Like, it'll just catch me by surprise. And I guess the answer to that is yes. So... oh my god. Because the sack mic, you know, and you know what the last thing is. That's pretty obvious. Fool me once, shame on you. But these things are easy to miss. Okay. So what should we do here? He's... I mean, people just dedicate their time to this stuff. Like, I'm going to make a Twitch name like this, and I'm so happy with myself. Yeah, Queen C3, of course, it encourages the queen trade, and it also... and it also attacks the bishop. It also attacks the bishop with 2 pieces, so... sorry. Yeah, bishop d4, we just take it. We can't take it with the bishop because we're pinned, but we can take it with the queen, thank you very much. And yeah, yeah, and now the game is over because now he's down 2 pieces already, and he's losing a rook, and he's losing another knight and his queen. Yeah, he's starting to drop a lot of pieces here. Yes, I think this one's over. Yeah, we're taking his queen next, and we're gonna have enough material here to feed a village for 8 years. Yeah, that's true. No, losing your queen is one of the most crushing feelings. There's a sense of just the game is okay. We need to watch this square by, and this is one great example of just like not being too mirthful about being up material. It's like he can go bishop g4, and you can pre-move whatever, like some random move, and you get checkmated. It takes so little pieces to actually deliver checkmate. We don't stop to think about that. We actually, as I just talk up a storm, and I'm not barely paying attention to what he's doing. Oh, this was much stronger. It would have won both of his remaining rooks. But yeah, this is just, I'm not really commenting on this because we're taking all of his pieces just sequentially, which is something that we all are kind of good at. Yeah, sacking the queen is an unparalleled feeling in chess. No matter how beautiful other combinations are, there's a soft spot that is reserved in every player's heart, I think, for the queen sacrifice. Okay, so I'm gonna make a move that looks bad, but I want you guys to tell me why it's good. Have I just blundered my knight? Have I? I mean, not that I couldn't. I could afford that, and I could afford even blundering my rook and then my queen, and even my other rook. But no, I can actually skewer him and win the bishop back. I'm not gonna. Or queen f6, nice catch. I missed that move. We haven't even moved our rooks. We probably will. Let's see if I can castle with mate. I'm gonna see if I can actually set this up so I castle with mate. Let me see if I can set this up so I can castle. Let me think about how to get this done, first of all. Where do I need my pieces? Well, I need this. I need this rook in, and then I'm gonna castle long. I don't want to rub it in, and we're gonna cut him off now. So the king has to eventually go back. Yes. Now we're going to use this rook to cordon him off the other way. No, please don't go here. Just move your pawns so I can... No. Get back. Okay, this is unnecessary. I'm just going to mate him. I don't know why I'm fixated on castling with him. I'm just going to castle and then checkmate him. Whoa, Gem with 25. Damn. Oh, my lands. That's crazy. 25. And Dunlop's on top of it. Yeah, okay, fine. I'm just going to castle. I mean, I don't think it's worth the effort. It's epic, but it's not that epic. I think it's way overrated. We're going to castle. Thank you so much, Jim. This is crazy explosion of subs today. As always. And then we're going to slide the rook in, and that's going to be checkmate. All right. This is the moment which is most hardest to understand, I think, because you want to attack the knight, and it's. attacking the knight itself is not the mistake. The mistake, there's no good way to attack it. Because right now, the knight is an escape to c5. So you're not trying to trap the knight. You're not going to trap the knight. That's something you should dispense with immediately. You should dispense with that fiction that we don't know what we're doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. And that's why moves like f3, while good in principle, are misplaced. Because there's a sense in which you're trying to trap the knight. But here, I go queen h4 check, g3, knight g3, hg3. And I'm sure everybody's seen this pattern before. Yeah, so this is very bad. And if you play if you play queen e2, then I'm going to drop the knight back, and you're going to have a hard time developing this bishop. This isn't terrible, but it's not great. But bishop c4 is great because it sets up better moves. It sets up queen d5. It sets up queen f3. So you have to exercise restraint when it comes to pieces. If you have a good card, there's card games where you have to play your cards. You have to hold your cards close to your chest sometimes, and when you play them, they're going to be a lot stronger than if you rush them. Okay, we can turn off subs only for the next the last 5 minutes of the stream. Queen h4, and now queen f3. So again, if we go g3 here and we say, well, great, we're attacking the queen, get out of here. Black goes knight takes g3, and actually, if we think hard about it, there's something even better than taking the bishop, which is amazing. Welcome, guys, and sorry. We had to go subs only. But that discussion that we had, it was getting a little bit, I wouldn't say out of control, but I mean, I needed a little bit of a peaceful moment. I know everybody understands. And remember that when we go sub only, it's never personal, and I know that it's very easy to perceive it that way, like, oh, he's like angry at me. It's not anger at anybody in particular. It's the only tool. I understand that it's a rough tool, but it's the only tool I have at my disposal to make things go a little bit more calmly. And so, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for the understanding. Okay. What is Black's better move here? What else can Black do other than queen takes c4? Thank you, M4. I appreciate it. Why, what does Black have other than queen takes c4? Oh, wait. No, what am I saying? Sorry. I meant to say f takes g3. After f takes g3. I meant to, queen e4 check. Yeah, queen e4 check is what I meant, and actually Black can pick off the exchange. It's not that simple, but that's basically the bottom line. So for that reason, we go queen f3. We create a bigger threat, equal or stronger threat. And after d5, bishop, d5 is where he collapses. Black, I think, has only one defense here. No, he's got to play knight g5. That's his only move, because he defends the pawn, he attacks the queen, and if we take the knight and say, well, now I'm going to take on f7. No, but now he swings over and takes the other bishop. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'll be happy to do it next time. And Michiko gifting to Tom Flynn. Thank you again. So the queen is in a bad spot. That's actually the point. That's why I said it's not that simple, but it's not in bad enough of a spot where he can't get out. So after knight g5 here, I would have just dropped the queen to e2 and defended the bishop, and Aharian gifting us up to Grog. And then White can develop the pieces. This knight is very awkward. Black's made a lot of moves with the same piece, so White's better, but it's not winning. Well, the thing is, Demon, it's a double-edged sword, because this knight is both bad and good at the same time. It's good because it's attacking the pawn. So queen e2 is a bit risky. That's what I wanted to play. But it's a bit risky because of this move. And I was discussing this with Joe Bruin. And this is actually very unclear, because if you take the knight, and the queen slides over from the bishop, and if you try to chase the queen away, then it's got all these squares where it can attack other pieces. So it's very unclear. So queen f3 circumvents this because this is a devastating move, and Black's position collapses here. Okay. So d5 is played, and after bishop d5, everything goes downhill for him. I think at this point, Black has only one way to avoid further material losses, and that's probably to play f5, which kills two birds with one stone. It defends the knight, and it defends the pawn. And at this point, I can take another pawn, and we trade, and it looks like Black's rook is getting trapped. But if you've seen Morphy against Duke of Brunswick, what's up, Logic? Very good to see you. And we've got absolute royalty in the house. So black actually has two alternatives here. There's queen e4 check, and there's queen b4 check. And both of those moves force a queen trade, right? Because it's a, whoops, that is not a move that forces a queen trade. This is a move that forces a queen trade. And, you know, the queen is protected, so queen odds, more than happy to. Maybe as an encore. But you're going to beat the crap out of me, and, you know, you're going to make me look bad. And, well, maybe that's not, I think it's about time for that anyway. So, yeah, 6, more like 60, but I wouldn't play yourself down. I mean, I think, yeah, but queen odds would be interesting for sure. Shush, Tommy. Yeah, and the other move here is queen b4 check, by the way, to exactly the same mechanism. You get the bishop out. Now, white is still up 2 pawns here. This is still good for white. And, yeah, and this is just fine. But black can play. The bottom line is it's only 2 pawns, so black can play on. And that's something you have to do. If you're on the black side of this, for example, you have to mitigate. You have to try to do damage control. You can't just put your head down, just go into the tunnel, just drop all of your pieces. That's kind of what he did here. He just lost. He lost hope in this game, I think. And that's very easy to do in these situations. But there's usually going to be a middle ground where you can basically limit the damages. Where you can basically limit the damage. There's usually going to be some resource. There's usually going to be some resource that allows you to, you know, to keep the game going, even if it looks like everything is collapsing. So after bishop b6, bishop b4, it's essentially all over. I'm up a piece, then I'm up another one, and everything is just over here. Yeah, queen c3. And the rest is very straightforward. So we don't have to really look at it in detail. Okay. Is it necessary to castle when the queens are off the board? Not necessarily. I mean, it can be a good idea just independently to bring the rooks into the game. But from a king safety perspective, only if your king is in danger, which it sometimes is when the queens are off the board. All right. This is absolute epicness on a large scale.